Today's episode of the More You Know podcast is brought to you by CrowdQuestion, a brand new social communication platform focused on connecting crowds to bring everyone closer to their community, as well as enhancing any occasion. Rather than being a social media platform focused on content and advertising, they're focused on communication and connection. Learn more about the platform and download the app free at crowdquestion.com.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
Today's
More
You
No
podcast.
Today I want to elaborate on factors contributing to failures of group decision-making that Jared Diamond shares in his book Collapse. Group decision-making is much more difficult than making a decision on your own. This is because you have to take into account different people's opinions and what's going on in their lives. When a group makes a decision, there's a lot more that has to go into a decision that's made by a group. And the larger the group is, the harder it can be to make a decision. And unfortunately, when it comes to group decision-making versus making a decision on your own, the consequences can be much higher as well, due to the decision-making and impact on the group as a whole. But luckily, if you understand the reasons why groups often make bad decisions, you can use that knowledge to guide groups to make good decisions, whether this group be your family, a team, a business, or an overall society. So with this being said, I now want to go through the 4 different categories that dictate failures of group decision-making. First is a group may fail to anticipate a problem before the problem actually arrives. So an example of this is when the levees broke in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. Second, when a problem does arise, the group may fail to perceive it. An example of this is when somebody loses a member of their team, and they don't realize the value that they provide. So when they lose them, they're unaware of the value lost. Then after they perceive it, they may fail to even try to solve it. After that, third is they perceive it, but they fail to even try to solve it. An example of this could be poor spending habits in a family. The poor spending habits causes increased debt, but they're so caught up in their overspending that it eventually catches up to them and they run out of money. And finally, the 4th category is they may try to solve it, but they fail. No one's 100% successful, and sometimes failure comes at the most critical moments. No matter who you are, you're almost guaranteed to be a part of a group, and many people become decision makers for a group. When it comes to group decision making, it can be much more difficult to come to the proper decision, or even make a decision as a whole. Because of this, it can be easy to fail at group decision making. But if you understand why groups often make bad decisions, you can avoid making those bad decisions. And by being aware of these 4 different categories that dictate bad decision making for groups, it assists with making the right decisions as a group. And this will not only benefit your life, but the lives of others, along with assisting with making a tremendous impact in this world and crafting a life of significance. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes. Leave a review. Follow the podcast on social media at More You Know Pod. And sign up for CrowdQuestion to ask me questions about the episode. Again, thank you for listening as we propel through podcasting with the More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
Today's
More
You
No
podcast.